Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, as I always say. It's getting boring, I know, but I love saying it because I want to reach out to people wherever they are in the world, especially when I'm with my two very good, wise colleagues. Mohammed Shukri, as I always say, good morning to you in Bahrain.
Good morning to you, Graham, Phoebe, and everyone who's watching.
And Phoebe in Dubai, how are you this morning?
Good morning, everyone. Good to be here, Graham and Mohammed. And you know, it is always nice and a happy time when we are having this conversation for me.
Why is it happy? This is serious. Why is it happy? Come on, we're not talking nonsense.
I think we have a common dream, which I think makes us happy to connect. And I think one aspect is we are trying to help people, individuals, and teams to connect emotionally and also uh, to have a vision on how leadership look and feels like.
Leadership. Hang on. I thought we were talking about advanced Excel. That really gets me not excited. But some people get all excited about, let's do an advanced Excel program and focus. That would send me up the wall, I'm afraid. But I know people love doing it and they're excited about the result that they get. My love and passion is in a different area, and it's in the same area where you two gentlemen are. And that is a way that we can change the world. Might sound like a big statement, a grand statement, but it is true. How we can change the world. And why do I say that? Well, we could simply say because the world needs changing, but why? Yeah, and it does. We are focusing not on advanced Excel or some of these other things which are a little too serious and complicated for my simple mind. But what about teams who are happy? Wouldn't it be fantastic if every team in every organization was not only highly productive, but was happy in what they're doing? Wouldn't it be fantastic, Mohammed?
Well, I can take it back to as early as being, young pupils and students. And if you call a class a team, then that class was having the happiest times when some of the teachers, um, when they were in the class of some of the teachers, but in the class of other teachers, we, the students, the team, the classmates, were wishing that this finishes as soon as possible. On the other hand, we can't wait for that day when we have that subject with that special teacher because we enjoy every moment and we want that to last forever.
Yeah.
So then we grow up to become employees, and we went through several leaders, and some of the leaders, we just wish we don't meet them at work. Let us do our work. We don't want to, okay, let's work away from you. But in the company of some leaders, we were the happiest teams.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going, but this is
Oh,
true.
I know. I've got an idea where it's going. Phoebe.
Yeah, I can relate to what Mohammed just mentioned, and I can, from my personal experience, like there are some workplaces where you don't feel that you are given work, and what I experienced is the way in which you know the people holding power can totally change the way in which we see work. And it is uh, one such experience actually brought me to understand leadership challenge. And I can really say that, uh, it was like, having time with friends in that workplace. And everyone, the way in which we interacted actually, uh, we still cherish those moments, and as like when Mohammed mentioned about the classroom where we have sessions which may be not of our liking, and some teachers bringing in, engagement to everyone. And, that happiness, imagine that if we can bring in our workplace, how beautiful it will be. And this is a question which I like to explore with you. What can a leader do to make teams happy?
Yes. Now, the obvious answer that some people might be thinking of now is give them a pay rise. Hey, that'll make them happy. Give them some more money. Well, let's be honest. We all know that that does not make people happy beyond the moment that they've heard they're getting a pay rise. And they'll hang on to that perhaps expectantly until the next pay arrives, and they say, oh, I've got an extra 200 dirhams or whatever. And they're excited about that momentarily. But what has them in an environment where that feeling of happiness and enjoying what they're doing and having that sustained, where does that come from? It's not from the pay packet. Not. It helps, but no. This comes from the environment which is created by the leader. It's simple. It's the environment that's created by the leader. Now, I think some people feel leadership's too hard for me. No, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna cry in a minute. It's not hard. It's easy. If you are passionate about helping people, you're a leader. If you are passionate about them rising up to be the best that they can be, beyond what they thought they could do, you are a leader. And how hard is this? It's not hard. And when you're with a group of people, let's say it's a team of 8 or 10 who are all on the same, to use a cliche, it's not popularized, but they're all on the same page. We have the vision that we all share. This is what we want to achieve. And one of those strong points perhaps in that vision is that we will achieve the vision that's there, and that along the way, we will love what we are doing in the work that we are engaged in. I want people to love the work that they are doing because they're going to perform even better. And the person who creates that initially is, it starts with L, here's a clue, is the leader. And the others then follow what he's doing. They are modeling the way. They are creating similar, small, if we like, groups and individual connections where people are emulating what that leader is doing. And everybody's enjoying what they're doing. They're getting results. And they don't want to leave and go and work for another company or in another team. Mohammed, help me here.
It's very clear. I just went into, daydreaming about those days. As you paint that picture, I remember where I was when I felt that. And I was thinking, what did our leader do to make every moment matter in every day? And I always I remember this quote which says, the biggest reward for a man's toil is not what he gets for it, but what he becomes by it. I said this many times, and I totally love it. And if you know that with every task, with every assignment, with every even routine job, you are growing and you are being better every moment, then life is beautiful even in the ugliest tasks. And I remember that our leader made that happen. And you give me the same duties, the same job description, change that leader, it will look boring. And it's a puzzle, I know, but I now can at least say that he was rewarding in a way that he was reinforcing everything we do, and he was challenging us at every minor routine task. It's not a routine task, and he wants us to do our best and uses us as his supporters and helpers, not the other way around. So we were like, oh, you depend on us? Really? We are that good? Yeah, he was honest that we are that good, but he wants to get the best out of us. So of course you live in a beautiful day, and every day matters.
But when he's saying that, if I can just make this point before we hear from Phoebe, he's saying it in a way which is, as we say in the Leadership Challenge, meaningful and genuine, right? When he's
Yes.
it's not just, oh, I love your work. It's not just that. It's meaningful. He makes a connection with the people. He has a relationship with them. They know that he cares about them. He cares about their mental health, as we talked about last time. He cares about creating an environment of laughter, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. He cares about them knowing that when they come to work, that they are appreciated for what they are doing, have done, that they will be recognised for what they've done, and that they will find opportunities to grow because they are able to think through problems of their own initiative and to challenge the process. Won't they? Yes, that's good. Phoebe.
Yesterday I was just watching a series on Amazon Prime. It is called Nine Strangers. I highly recommend if you have time to watch that. Nine Strangers, and one of the character was saying that you listen to me like anything, and I just remembered modeling the way at that moment. The way in which we listen can bring change and build connections. And that moment was very powerful in that series. But again, one aspect which I cherish in this moment where we are having the conversation is the way in which we all listen to each other. It is a training which we get every week in this conversation process. And the simple power of listening brought happiness to that person. And I have a challenge to those who are leaders out there at this moment. How are we listening to our team?
Yeah.
Are we listening to understand, or are we listening to respond? And this is crucial in, one is modeling the way, and second is to inspire. Simple listening inspires people, because the feeling that emerges is my leader listens to me.
And my leader believes that what I've got to say is important, right? So he listens with genuineness. He's not dismissive. Oh, look, we'll talk about that later. But that's not important. No, okay, let's move on. No, he listens with intent, and that person feels honoured by this as well. One of the things that I was thinking about, maybe I've mentioned this before, but in fact I think it was, but it's the connection that we have at all levels. And I remember working with another organisation as an outsider, but I was at a certain level, or perceived to be at a certain level. And when we finished this work with another company, me being seconded in to do things, one of the gentlemen who was part of this group came to me at the end of the process and said, I just want to say thank you. He said, in all the years, 10 or 15 years or so that he had been with this company, no one at the, quote, level that I was at had ever talked to him. What? The leaders there were some so-called leaders were so preoccupied, I think, with living in a world which was above the people, that they wouldn't talk to this person. How are you going to feel happy working in an environment? I don't care whether it's a team of 10 or if you're at a senior level and there's 10 teams of 10. Your ability to connect with the people in your group are so important, and it's not hard to do. You can't ever say, but I'm too important for that. No, you're not. No, you're not too important to make connections with the people that you are leading. That's the core of it. And as a leader, you're going to be saying, what can I do tomorrow to be a better leader than I was today? How can I improve the listening that Phoebe mentioned? Can I get better at that? And also to say to the team members, what can I do to make a better impression for what you're doing? What can I do so that you can achieve even more than you're doing at the moment? Or what am I doing that's impacting on what you're trying to achieve? Having these questions, the leader is not only proving that he's authentic, and he's then going to do something about it because he or she cares about leadership and the people. That's when you get great results. You know what? I'm just going to take one more minute if I can. A moment ago, what you were talking about, Phoebe, had me think about, and it was about a television program that you saw recently, right on Prime. And what went through my mind very quickly, but I was listening to you, of course, was what about let's call it a game show on television? And we have 4 different teams of 6 people. I'm only just rolling this off the top of my head, and a leader for each of those teams, and they have an objective to achieve. And we then watch which team is the most successful. And we listen to and watch the behaviors of the leader. And we see how what he or she does in leading his team or her team to get to the objective that's been set. And I really think that that would be very informative in terms of the behavior that's demonstrated by the leader and how the team members are responding to that. Let's do a quiz, a television game show.
I think, Graham, what you are trying to, when you mentioned, this is something which was going through my mind, and you know, how happy teams respond differently to challenges, you know, and we have the practice challenge the process. And what I have personally noticed is when you are in a learning room where you are running a workshop, and if you have that joy in the process where you are making the connection between people clear, where there is a happiness slowly spreading, you can see the engagement slowly emerging better and people feeling more confident and challenge each other in a constructive way, and that leads to outcomes which are totally different, and this experience make them think, okay, what happened in this moment? And it is that you know, as leaders, how are we creating a container of safety for our team where each other can challenge in a healthy way, and how that totally changes the trajectory of many organizations.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when what happens in this situation is that the leader is often in challenging people to be better than they thought they could be. That they can do things because of his or her challenging them that they didn't think that they were capable of. And I must say that going through my mind was working in an organization which I've touched on before, where the leader, the chairman and managing director of the company was a wonderful man to be led by. And he was a household name in Australia in those times. And he challenged me at times that really surprised me. What? Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Oh my gosh. And I was, let's just say, one of the senior team, and he would challenge me, and I loved that. Initially, I was surprised, but he enabled me to achieve things that I didn't think were possible. And he would say, "Yeah, of course you can do it." And that sort of thing makes, to get back to our topic, it makes people feel happy about what they're doing and happy about what they have achieved. And that's what we want. We want to change the world one leader at a time, don't we? And we want to have people happy in what they're doing. I mentioned it before we started this that I have a program, short program, very short, I guess, of creating a team of choice. And that's where everybody in a 3-month period is closely bonded together in the way they are working and getting great results. There's a high level of collaboration, high level of trust, high level of support. And the other teams around the organization saying, what is it about that team over there? What are they doing? Are they getting free chocolates or something? What's happening? No, They are all working hard to be high performing and enjoy what they're doing. Mohammed, are we going to wrap this up with some wise words from you?
I don't know, but I always remember that, when you accomplish something, the dopamine thing.
Yeah.
When you accomplish something, as we accomplish another episode, it's at that state where you feel you have done something meaningful. And when you know that you have done something meaningful, you feel happy. And even science proved that the reason of your happiness is when someone else is happy because of what you have done. All right? Even if you don't meet that someone, and they linked that with the health and well-being of a person. And we are still in the mental health month of October. And when people contribute with something and they see the impact of it, they feel happy. You come across a student who was your student once, and now he's an adult and successful, and he says, thanks to you for those days I learned from you. How happy do you feel? That day is so different. But if we work in environments where we do things, we accomplish things, and nobody notices and nobody tells us, I mean, we can't support ourselves because we are young employees and we are talented, but nobody's showing us that. Okay, we need that reinforcement. We need a leader who tells us what a great contribution you've done. It's not just, send me the report. Okay, I send you the report. What did it do? So you can come to me and tell me that report was really beneficial, and I had a very successful meeting with the board because of your report. Thank you so much. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. It's the same work, but you tell me that I made a difference. I made a difference. How hard is that? Like Graham always says, how hard is that?
It's not. Two things come out of this. And I just want to say this before we go to Vivi. People love what they are doing. When you do exactly what you were talking about, the people in the team love what they're doing. And the other benefit is they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave that team because they love what they're doing. They're getting great results and they love their leader. Vivi, wrap it up for us.
I love the story which Mohammed shared from that perspective, and it is giving me this line, recognition fuels belonging, and that is what we see in that space when you say this is because of you that I was able to present it to the board, and that had an impact, and that is genuinely encouraging the heart.
Vivi,
And
I'm going to hold you right there. I know you're in full flight, but I want you to use that expression of recognition fuels commitment.
belonging.
Belonging. Yeah, belong. I want to use that on your wonderful post on LinkedIn if you haven't already used it.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
use that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
sorry. And I just want to, challenge the listeners out there. If happiness became our leadership metric, how would your daily decision change?
Yeah. How would your mental health change?
How will your workplace change?
How will your relationship with your family change? We could go on. It is a critical thing. Gentlemen, I wish you all the very best. And I thank you for your insights and your wisdom, and the way we challenge each other like this and share, I think is a highlight of my week. And I look forward to this every week, and I hope you do too. So, gentlemen, have a great week. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And viewers, please subscribe, bring in your comments, thoughts, and reach out.
Thank you.